Hey, back again. Okay, so let's start again because Facebook froze my last live, or my phone did, something weird happened and my phone froze. So, hold on. So we're gonna start again. This time I'm sitting on my bed. I was on the floor before because one of my kids took my chairs, which was really funny. And I was like, wow, this is the real, this is the real challenge of working from home sometimes. Your kid takes your chair. Good thing I just bought a chair today and it's sitting downstairs in the box. I have to go unpack it. But so let's talk trauma healing for a second now. I'm gonna change my topic a little bit. Because I just had an inspiration on the last video and I saw another post today about kind of taking aim at energy healers and coaches that aren't trauma informed. Like that's a new thing, a new catchphrase, or a new whatever, a new way to get certification for people, I'm sure, a trauma informed coach. And that if you don't have it, you could really mess people up worse, or that a lot of times healers, intuitives, coaches do this whole like spiritual bypassing or gaslighting of their clients by saying, oh, just think positive, or oh, just get over it, or, just don't, tell them to do all the activities, and that they're still struggling and are like, oh, well, you just don't want it bad enough, or you're just not calibrating to the right energy. And, like in every profession, I hate to say this, but in any profession, y'all know it's true, in any profession, there are people who either shouldn't be doing it or are doing it for the wrong reasons, or maybe aren't as informed or aren't as experienced, or their consciousness is maybe a little bit more, a little more narrow, like their consciousness isn't wide enough, or maybe they just really don't give a shit. I don't know. Like there are always people in professions who do things and are not always on the side of integrity. Okay, so that's that. I'm not talking about those people. But I think I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that most of the time, coaches, intuitives, healers who are really light workers, who are in this really to help raise the collective vibe, really to just empower people to heal, are truly interested in doing just that. They're not interested in how much money they can make. I mean, yes, all light workers and healers and coaches and, whatever, everyone needs to be compensated for the value that they bring. So I'm not saying that at all. They shouldn't charge, or they do have to do things for free. I don't subscribe to that. I know some people do. I don't. I think it's your profession and you're providing a service, you get compensated. So that's okay. Do some people charge really extraordinarily high amounts? And sometimes they don't do what they say they're going to do, or maybe it's not worth it, or it's a bunch of bullshit. Sure. Like with anything, But most of the time, I think people come to this with a really good heart and really good intention. So if you're but the thing is, here's the thing that sometimes coaches and healers and intuitives don't totally understand. I don't think you need special training or certification to be trauma informed. Why? Because first of all, I think we all have some life experience. We all have compassion and empathy to work with and kind of have been there. It's probably rare to find someone who doesn't have some form of trauma in their past, whether it's big T trauma, meaning it's really, really impactful, like a really, really large traumatizing event, as you would think of like accidents or physical attacks or something like that, or little T trauma, which is more, I'm like holding up one finger like that's little T, like little T, which is more like someone made a comment or made fun of you. And I don't know, man, I don't even subscribe to that big T, little T thing. I think it's just T. Like trauma is just trauma, and you cannot say in a textbook or in a theory what someone's going to feel, how badly it's going to affect them, how deeply it's going to affect them. Okay, you can't say. Just like with trauma informed, you can't say what is going to heal them. Now, there are therapists who do this work, and that is their specialty, that is their jam. They've had a ton of training with things like EMDR and hypnotherapy. Friggin' do it. Like, if there's anything that can help you, some sort of modality or cognitive-based therapy, do it. Like, I say, why not get all the different coaches and healers on your side? because trauma is multifaceted. Because that's what we are learning now. I'm at 50 years old, I'm learning it's not just about, it is, I will say that when I saw this post criticizing coaches and healers, and like I said, I'm sure there are some who are full of shit and are just trying to make money, but it is true that like you can't just positive think or say affirmations or do journal prompts your way out of trauma. Well, let me back that up. I'm not going to say you can't as a rule. There may be somebody out there who has done it, right? You never know what that moment, what that word, reading that book, hearing that conversation, talking to that partner, that thing you saw, that opportunity you got, that one thing that turns it all around for you. You don't know what it's going to be. And sometimes it's a combination of a bunch of things. But what I do believe is that there are so many different aspects to trauma that sometimes if you find that affirmations aren't working for you, journal prompts aren't working for you, it's not because you suck. It's not because you're doing it wrong. It's not because you are, you just don't want it bad enough, or you're just not, your law of attraction is not working and you're just not calibrating to the right energy. You're not stepping into your vortex. Hey, it's great in the vortex. That's a whole other video, but I mean, it's not that necessarily. That's part of it though. At some point we have to take responsibility that only we can make that shift. No one's going to do it for us. We have to make that shift. So whether it's through years of therapy, whether it's, because these are the things, there are you have to reprogram your mind, your conscious mind and your unconscious subconscious mind, because we know the subconscious runs the show, really. Even if logically we want something or we don't want something, how often does the opposite happen? We're like, what the fuck? Like, how did I didn't want this kind of relationship, or I didn't, blah, blah, blah. Because our unconscious, our subconscious is running the show, and there are still limiting beliefs that were formed, whether it's from our parents' stuff and their own baggage, or it's from trauma or whatever coping mechanisms that we had to put in place, whatever it is, our unconscious will keep us in that comfort zone. So there is an element of, working on the mind and the subconscious. And then there's the other part, which I think isn't talked about enough. Well, two other parts. One is energy. I think energy is a damn thing. Like, I'm not using it as an excuse to gaslight customers or clients or say that you're wrong or whatever. Like, energy is a thing. We are energy. Everything is energy in this world. Quantum physics is a thing. So if we work on energy healing, it can only help. It's not the only thing. It's not in and of itself the only thing. It may be the missing piece for someone, so it seems like it's the only thing. But if you're still struggling with, you've taken all the courses, you've done the coaching, you've done all the things, and you feel like you're still struggling to make changes in your life, you're still attracting the same old shit, and you're like, why? Then it's time to say, well, what aspect do I feel like I need some work on? Is it the unconscious and the conscious mind, reprogramming our mind for limiting beliefs, or, unraveling some of the trauma that we might not even be consciously thinking of it. Maybe it's just unraveling those trauma responses that we have that keep us comfortable and safe, because your inner child had to be safe. It wasn't your fault that you have these. Don't beat yourself up. It's not your inner child had to do what he or she had to do. And because children depend on the adults around them, they have to adapt to that. And sometimes into adulthood, we carry these same coping mechanisms and they just don't serve us anymore. They keep us in that same space of either being traumatized or afraid of being traumatized again. So that's one part of it. Energy healing is another thing. There can be stuck energy. I believe that within our bodies, not only is it, minds and thoughts, but it's also energy. Our chakras, our energy centers, they spin. And if they're spinning too fast or too slow, that's when they're out of balance. They call it that. And that can affect many, many things within our body and our mind and our soul. I believe that's a real thing. I think the law of attraction is 1,000% legit. You can't use it to blame somebody else for not creating what they want. You cannot, because it takes a while. It takes some practice to return to the state that we arrived here in, that absolute open space, so connected to source in the vortex. We arrived here in the vortex, and everything in our world tries to pull us out. So to kind of get back in, it takes work, it takes time. So there's energy healing that can be done by different practitioners, whatever works for you, right? Then there's physical healing. And this, I think, is the part that's not talked about enough by coaches and healers and intuitives, which is your body may still think you're being traumatized right now. Even if the trauma happened like 40 years ago, your body still got stuck in that fight or flight response. Or if as a child you lived in a lot of chaos, a lot of turmoil, a lot of stress or anxiety, you were probably physically in fight or flight mode more often than not, or more often than you should have been, right? And as a result, as adults, that turns into some chronic illness and things like this because our bodies are still there. Like they're still, even if we're not thinking of anything, we could be having the best time consciously doing something fun, but our bodies are still like tight. And so we're like, why isn't, why can't I connect to my higher self? Why can't I manifest the things I want to manifest? Why does a law of attraction not work for me? Why can't I stop attracting the things in my life that I don't want? Or I'm repeating the same mistakes, or although there are no mistakes, spirit doesn't work with mistakes. You are just doing the best you can with where you are. So even that word, we're not going to declare it over you because that's just going to cause another fight or flight. So why am I learning these lessons over and over again? Or why am I struggling with money? Why am I struggling with relationships? Why am I struggling to find a career that I love? Whatever it is, or why? Because maybe your body needs that physical healing part. It's hard to learn and really integrate everything that you're taking these courses and reading, listening to podcasts. It's hard to fully integrate them when your body's like tied like a knots, right? Your body's in that fight or flight. It's not really going to let you take it in and just really digest it. You want to be in that parasympathetic state of rest and digest. And so I recommend, if you go on Instagram, the holistic psychologist is amazing for this, or look up on Google vagus nerve. That's one of the things that I will help like my clients with too, is not only do I working with you on your mindset, your conscious, your subconscious, unraveling beliefs, programming, and just, getting any trauma or trauma responses, but also I'm working on, balancing your energy centers with my Reiki work, doing readings to help you connect to higher self, and then recommending physical exercises to help your body calm down. Because if our bodies are not truly calm, we can't integrate all of this, or we can for a short time, but it's not going to sustain, because even that's going to be stress on our nervous system, because we're like, oh my gosh, it's changes. We're trying to make changes. Fight or flight, like change was scary when I was little, right? So there are many aspects to trauma healing, and I think anyone can do this. I mean, there are some things, like I said, you need special training, and like I can't do EMDR. That's for a therapist who's trained in that. But energy healing and working with inner child work, I can do that. Shadow work, I can do that with my clients. And working with recreating new beliefs and new habits and new responses, and helping you be in this moment and helping your body to calm down out of that fight or flight, so that you can truly receive. You can be open to receive opportunities, open to receive the goodness and abundance that is coming your way, and you're not feeling so triggered by everything, and that it's so freeing, and you're not worried about what everyone else thinks and on the defense. So, that's just something I wanted to, talk about, because I think when we make fun of other coaches or healers or therapists, and we kind of like shit on what they're doing and just make these assumptions that they're out to screw people, we might really deny someone that one piece that gets them that breakthrough. Like that one, you don't know who it is or what it is that's going to get you that moment. But when you know it happens, you'll know. And why not have yourself open to try any modality that you can, or practitioners that you can work with, and use your, try to use your best research and intuition, look for testimonials, have a discovery call with your practitioner, do something. I mean, yeah, like I said, there are people out there who are just doing this to make a buck and trying to make the most they can out of people's pain. And that fucking sucks. And that's just, karma is a bitch. Okay. So that's not my job to call them out or make fun of them, because karma's a biatch. I will do what I can to help empower my community to be able to discern and see the difference, to help you get that discernment. You can tell what's, what works, what feels aligned and what feels like shit, so that you can make those choices for you that really, really help you, and get you lasting change, not change for 5 minutes. I'm not going to give you just a bunch of affirmations and send you on your way. Okay. That's temporary Band-Aid. That's part of the whole package. You want the total life makeover. That's the program I'm working on right now. Midlife, magical midlife makeover or mini makeover are going to be 2 programs that are really going to walk women through how it is to really make those lasting transformations and make those huge shifts. And it's going to start with that root chakra, which is trauma, money, safety, feeling comfortable in your own skin. Because without that work, the rest of it is not going to last. You may see temporary changes, but they're not gonna stick, or you'll struggle to make those changes and get frustrated with yourself and quit. And I don't want to let that happen, because I'm here to empower women to be their sovereign selves and be radiantly happy. And doesn't mean all the time, okay? This isn't bypassing. I just had a dark night of the soul last week and this past weekend. You're gonna have these moments where on the floor sobbing, kicking and screaming, and you want to feel. I'm not gonna stop you from feeling, but I will get you ready to receive the abundance that is meant for you. So many women think it's too late for them. They think that there's nothing, that life isn't meant for them. That's meant for other people. Or it's too late. I made different choices. I was stupid. I can't go back and do things differently. Who am I to do things? I'm too old. Like all these things. Or I just need to put 100,000% into my kids and my partner, and I'll get to me later. And meanwhile, they're burnt out and resentful and exhausted and just want to scream, right? So I'm not having any of that, especially with my Gen X women, because I'm done with that. Pretending like you don't care, pretending like it's no big deal, pretending like sarcastic, laughing or joking your way out of it. No, you deserve more. You deserve better, and you deserve to feel everything, because that's what we're here to do as humans, is to feel, not be numb, not bypass, to feel, and live without limits. All right. So that's the whole deal. And I think we need to embrace that there are so many of us out there who are there for you to help and there to guide you on this path. And I don't think it helps to just discount anybody or just to, make bad assumptions. And let's lift each other up in this business. We need it. The world needs it right now. Light workers, people to uplift, people to empower, not to make you dependent on me or anyone else. I will never, ever use my gifts or what I do to make you dependent on me. Like you need me, or you just don't have it. You don't have the gift until I download it to you. Like that is so stupid. No, let's work together and honor what each of us bring to the table. All right, with that, I love y'all. Mwah. My group, Divinely Inspired Life, is reopened and we are getting going again. So come on, join us there. Also, keep watching me. I have 4 of 90. I'm going live every day for 90 days. That's my commitment. May not be on Facebook. I'm going to do a combination of Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So follow me on all those social media platforms. So if you want to catch me when I'm there, definitely do that. Any questions, drop them in the comments, message me. If you want to know about my readings or my coaching sessions, go to my Linktree. That's it's Linktree. Well, actually, yeah, Linktree. So it's linktr.ee/Jen Roop. My New Year's reading is ready to go, and people love that one. So I have that along with a free chakra clearing meditation you get as a download when you get your New Year's reading. So check that out. It's on the Linktree. That's it. All right, love you guys. Mwah. I will talk to you. And if you're interested in the Magical Midlife Makeover, I haven't launched it yet. We're not even in pre-launch. Just message me and have me put you on the waiting list. And I'm happy to do that. All right. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Love you.